Oh, I forgot to pick a picture to have on my background. Huh. Well, that sucks. Hi, guys. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monk. And around here, we talk for no reason at all other than I want to hear my own voice. How are you guys? It's been a few days. I've had some rough ones. We're not going to get into the details of it, but oh my God. I had a great time with the family and paid for it since, but I'm in a good place, really good place, and a little annoyed right now because nothing has been going on that has made me want to stream. Not I always want to stream, but nothing compelled me to stream, right? Nothing was like, oh, I got to talk about this. And then today, all at once, a whole bunch of shit, a bunch of it. I need to find a cat picture so we can let myself know when my horrible setup goes bad on me. Let's see. There's got to be a cat picture around here somewhere. Do. I have new ones of Phoebe that I meant to put up, but I didn't get around to it. And so, wait, where's Retro in my DMs? I know he sent me kitty cat pictures. Retro, where you be, my friend? Holy shit, lots of people have DM'd me. I should probably read through these. Aren't you guys glad you tuned in? Hey, look, technically the show doesn't start for another 18 minutes, so you're just going to have to deal with it. I do amuse myself. Retro, why can't I find you in here? There you are. Yeah, that's a great one. That's an awesome one. Let's share the screen there. For those wondering, I just have to have something on my screen so I know if my internet goes out. It's the only way I can tell. There we go. Look at the kittens. All right, so back to what we're talking about. There has been stuff that's happened over the last several days. Oh, that would be interesting to talk about, including the new Jubilee episode, their episode of Surrounded. Surrounded is the one where they have one person and then a whole bunch of rejects around them who run up to try to talk to the person. And this one is a capitalist versus my favorite line ever, anti-capitalist. It's not capitalist versus 20 commies. It's capitalist versus 20 anti-capitalist. Sure, yeah, let's call them anti-capitalist. But that one, I'm kind of worried about doing a full take on because Jubilee is a bunch of copyright pricks. So there was that. There's other things I've seen that I want to talk about. But then today, I wake up kind of late for me. I woke up at 10, and I turn on my Twitter like I normally do, and I see Robert Kennedy is going before one of the Senate committees. I don't remember which fucking committee it is, but he's up there I think it's like a financial thing that he's actually up there talking about. But of course, in Senate hearings or House hearings, it doesn't matter what the topic is. What's going to happen is all of the Trump supporters are going to be like, Bobby, you're the greatest. And all the Democrats are going to be like, Bobby, you suck. And that's what it's turned into so far. And it's actually amazing. I've only got to see 4 questionings because each senator gets I think they have it 5 minutes on this one. Maybe they have it at 7. It changes from time to time. But each of them gets to ask questions. And I've only got to see 4 questioners. And both of the Democrats lost their shit. First, you have Wyden, who is talking about how much you're going to kill the children. He actually tells Bobby Kennedy that he's going to kill children with not having vaccines, which, by the way, not what Kennedy's doing. Don't get ahead of me, Pyrus. Don't get ahead of me. Then who is it? Bennett is the second Democrat to question Kennedy. They take turns. It goes Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. And Republicans get asked first because they run the Senate and the chairman is the Republican. So Bennett actually gets angry. It's funny as fuck, and we'll watch it in a little bit. But he gets angry at Kennedy. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I can't watch this right now. We're not going to watch it live because it's being broadcast everywhere. like MSNBC and CNN. I think CNN is. I know Fox is. And oddly enough, we're going to watch it, the part we do watch, on MSNBC because the Fox one is way too low. The AP one, the volume is way too low. I don't know who's in charge of their volume there, but they need to get their shit fixed. What is that? That is the link to the video we're eventually going to watch. What? I think that's what I just put in there. I have no idea what I just put into chat. It was supposed to be the link to donations. Oh, never mind. That is my old. Okay, don't pay attention to that last one because it has nothing to do with the show. Anyway, let's try that again. Here we go. Sorry, guys, got to show myself. This is my job, which is another reason I decided to do a show. Like, I should probably work. My wife would like it if I had a job. So anyway, I get the show. I turn off everything and I go to get the show ready. And I see I have several new DMs. Believe it or not, I do actually read through them. And a couple of them were pointing me to Lauren Chen. She has crawled out of the shitstorm she got herself in to ask for money. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But suddenly there's several things. There's a different Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, talking about radioactive fish or something, or shrimp. I haven't got to watch that video, but I'm like, there's all these things I need to talk about. All of these things. And we'll get to all of them. We actually will. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about the title of the stream. 9 years of me, which is not exactly true. It's 4 days short of 9 years of me. I saw Actual Justice Warrior posted on Twitter that today is his 9-year anniversary on YouTube. And I went, wait, didn't I start in September? And I did. This channel, if you look at when I started this channel, it's much older than that. I think it's from like 2012. But I didn't watch it. This is actually an account I had set up for my boys to be able to watch YouTube on. And so they used it for many years and then stopped. And now I use it. And so when I went to make my YouTube channel to actually start uploading videos, I just used the existing account. But the first video went live on September 8th of 2016. So Monday will be, I think it's Monday, right? The 8th will be 9 years of me. 9 years since I posted that first video. The only video I've ever really been nervous to hit go live on or publish on, because it was new to me. I'm like, I can probably do this. I think yeah, let's try this shit. And I did. And I have never taken that video down. None of my old stuff is down. The only things I've ever taken down is because of worries about YouTube punishments, because those guys are dicks about certain things. I had to take down several where I insulted people too much, because YouTube for a while instituted don't insult people policy, which is dumb as fuck. It's the internet. But almost everything is still up. The overwhelming majority of everything I've ever published is still up. And if you go watch it, if you go watch that very first video, I'm so stiff. I'm still funny, but I'm so stiff in it. And a lot of creators are like, oh, I don't have my old stuff up. It was embarrassing. I'm not embarrassed by it at all. I was learning. And I really do hope that somebody who watches this and think about they want to, maybe get into this business and hear me and like, Monkey's my hero. You guys need better heroes. And then they go back and watch my first video and go, oh, bad. But to see how you can improve as you learn. For the record, at the time, I was learning everything. I was learning audio, video, and just scripting. I'd never done any of that shit before. And luckily, Movie Maker was very easy to learn. Very limited in scope, which is probably a good thing. You got to walk before you can run. But I'm not embarrassed by any of that. Maybe one day we'll sit back and we'll watch the original video. Maybe we'll do that on Monday. Monday we'll watch that original video. I will do some monkception and respond to myself. At the time, I was just planning on basically doing what I do here, but I was going to respond to the news as it was in the world, because I've always hated the fucking news because they're trash. But yeah, 9 years. Sitting on my ass for 9 years. Doesn't feel a day over 8.5. Thank you, Nuts. How you doing today, sweetie? Yeah, it really is. It's time's flown. It really has. I don't feel like I've been here for 9 years. Now, the streaming side of it is about a year less than that, because it's not even a full year, if I remember correctly. I want to say I started streaming in like March of the following year. And yeah, streaming just was so much easier than making videos. It really is. It's just so much easier. I just turn on the fucking mic and start talking, and it's a lot easier. I find that as I go back, because I have watched a few of my videos before, I think I'm funnier in video form because I actually have a chance to refine jokes and stuff, which on the fly is not as easy to do. And so I love the video format. I really do, because I think I make better points that way. I think I make more refined points, but I'm lazy as shit and cripple. So just being able to, I would call you a role model, not a hero. Fair enough. But again, set your sights higher. Am I a role model? Ugh, that's a terrifying thought. Been watching you since day one. Holy cow. Can't believe I've been literally watching you my whole adult life. Thanks for the 9 years of amazing content, Monkey. Thank you so much, Reba. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. 9 years of me. Wait, if I'm doing my math correctly, you're 27. So you're not going to be, nobody's going to be trying to hump you on a Destiny stream. You're way too old. Is that wrong? I've been watching that stuff too. All of the drama going on between the tards of the left. I think that's what I'm going to call them. The Tard League. But thank you for that feminist $12. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Hope you well. I'm recovering, Nuts. Yesterday I started feeling better, and today I feel mostly good. I feel like that kitty in the front who just looks really tired in that picture. That poor kitten looks like he needs a nap. The one in the back is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. This one's like, Mom, I need some sleep. All right, let's get into it. This is a point in the Senate hearing that I decided we needed to watch because so this is Senator Bennett. I think his first name's Chris. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember. I hate this guy for several reasons, one of which is that he doesn't open his mouth all the way when he talks. He's one of those people. They're usually portrayed as like really rich people in movies, where they don't, because they're talking so proper that they don't open their mouth all the way, and it just bugs the shit out of me. Like he should be saying, "Buffy, come here." But I also hate him because he is a dyed-in-the-wool lefty who, it doesn't matter what the left is supporting, he's on board. Damn it, he's on board for whatever stupidity is out there because he's an asshole. Monkey, did you have COVID? According to the doctors, I did at one point. Yes. I referred to Monkey as my gateway drug on Hammer and Jen stream last night. Am I a gateway drug? I can see that. Hey, old man, good to see you. It's good to be seen. Good to be seen. So anyway, so Bennett here at this point has already gone on, and he's very mad because apparently Kennedy fired everybody on some panel, and he hired a bunch of new people, one of which who said mRNA vaccines cause a kind of AIDS. I don't know if the guy said it or not, but it's funny as shit. And this dude, how's Lady Monkey today? She's good. She's busy at the moment. Hey, what's up, P-Dog? Driving to Chicago. Shouldn't you be streaming? Anyway, you're in addiction. I appreciate that. This exchange is just fucking amazing.
I think it's critical.
By the way, we're watching this on MSNBC just because of their sound. I am not supporting MSNBC in any way. Go watch them. I need to give them credit for this because everybody else's audio sucks, but I don't like them.
Critical for you to share the evidence that this panel will rely on. Will you?
Okay, the panel he's talking about is there's a panel that's going to be going over the recommended vaccines for children. You know, the thing that used to be 4 or 5 shots and is now a career. You got to get shots for the next 45 years. Matt Barnes, thank you so much. Happy 9 years. I found you 9 years ago now and just assumed I was behind the 8 ball. Guess I wasn't. Nope, Matt, you were right on time. You were right on time.
Give the American people 6 months or 6 weeks in advance the record that they're going to rely on to make these decisions? Will you make it transparent for the American people?
All the evidence is transparent.
Will you make it in advance transparent for the American people so they can comment on it?
All the evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products through with no safety
You
testing.
can make.
Kennedy has got both of the people at this point. Remember, this is only the second Democrat to be questioning him, but he's done this to both of them. Like, you're sitting here questioning me. You ain't had shit to say until now. And it is important because he's talking about things like the CDC and NIH and everything that we were told. The experts, remember during COVID, the experts all say this. And he's like, you motherfucker. He hasn't said motherfucker yet, but I wish he would. You motherfuckers have not questioned anything until now. I wonder how much money Mr. Bennett here gets from pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies own a whole bunch of your politicians. I don't want to say own because I think these guys just believe in this nonsense. I'm not calling vaccines. I need to be clear. I'm not calling vaccines nonsense. Some vaccines are very important, and what the problem with them is actually in the way we've changed the administration of the vaccines and some of the ingredients that are in the vaccines now that we didn't used to need, but for some reason do now. I do think some vaccines are nonsense. Like, I do not understand why we give kids chickenpox vaccines. Chickenpox is a largely rite of passage, or was. But a couple kids died each year from complications, not because chickenpox is itself deadly. I mean, it's a herpes virus, for fuck's sake. And they're like, no, now every kid needs this in case they start to scratch a little bit. So I think the vaccine thing has gone way overboard, and especially with it being mandatory. If you want to get your kid the chickenpox vaccine, I guess, I think that should be your choice, because we're talking about chickenpox, not measles. We're talking about chickenpox, not smallpox. You know what I mean? But these guys are like, no, we got to drug the fuck out of your kid. So I'm not against vaccines. I have some questions about some of the changes that have been done to vaccines, and I have major questions about how some of them are now mandatory when they're, I don't want to say not a public health issue, but not a serious public health issue. Anyway.
You can characterize it any way you want. I quoted them today. What I said was accurate. What you said were lies.
Actually, what Kennedy said wasn't lies. He said that in this case, what he called a lie right there was Kennedy agreeing with a guy who said, I think it was the guy who said that mRNA causes AIDS. But what he had also said is that mRNA has a lot of question marks, and it has. Go back before the COVID vaccine. Go back and read the stories on mRNA pre-2020, December of 20. No, we got to go back even further than that. Maybe 2019. Before mRNA is becoming a possibility for COVID, go read. There were stories written about how mRNA was dying because it couldn't be successfully implemented. It had a ton of money poured into it when it first comes out. mRNA is fake vaccine or fake disease. It's made to trick your body into thinking it has a disease that it doesn't have, to kick off antibodies to fight it so you don't actually ever get it. That is a very basic description of it. So any scientists in there who want to put, actually calm down. That's the basics of how it works. It tricks your body into thinking you have a disease you don't have and creating antibodies for it. Now, in theory, this is wonderful because then you don't have to give people actual diseases. You don't have to worry about accidentally giving people polio with the polio vaccine, which is a real thing that happened. And my favorite part about the polio vaccine giving people polio, it's not the one that we're all used to. It's not the one, it's been banned almost everywhere, but in certain parts of Africa, they were like, fuck it, run through the supply. So they kept giving people polio. Now, granted, it's a very small chance to get it, but that's what they were doing. And so it took them a while, but after they knew it was happening, after they knew this is what was giving people, they were like, you know, if little Tommy has to get it, it sucks, but at least the rest of the village is inoculated. They can carry Tommy around for the rest of his life. I forgot where I was going with that. I just get so, I think it's so funny that happened. Oh, that's what I was talking about. With mRNA, you take that risk away, theoretically. Theoretically. The idea is that the body doesn't actually have to get sick and can still get the antibodies. And it's a wonderful thought. That's never worked out in practice. The success rate of mRNA has never been high enough to clear any United States medical advisory. It is always failed spectacularly. For everyone, if I remember correctly, the success rate was something like 50% on these things. And so most people were moving away from it. They had started losing funding, tons of funding, and like, nah, look, bro, you can't get this together. Fuck it, we're done. And then amazingly, right at that time, COVID hits. Don't worry, I'm not saying that they pushed COVID onto the Chinese people and the rest of the world to push mRNA vaccines. I would never suggest such a thing like that. But it is coincidental timing. Thank you, Matt. The one thing that intrigues me is the push for the HPV vaccine in kids. They've been trying to give that to my youngest since he was 8. We keep saying, no, he's not getting dirty pooner. What does that say? Punani. He's not getting dirty punani and hopefully never will. Yeah, I hear you. Jack, my friend, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. You came back just in time for dirty punani.
Yeah, I heard that. That was like the first thing I heard. And I was like, that's a super chat.
I'm trying to read it, and you know how my eyes are, and it's on the orange, so my eyes have even more trouble. I'm like, punani. I know what that is. So anyway, mRNA has never successfully been used, not even in COVID. It's one of the, I don't want to say funny, funniest things that happened during COVID, with them coming out and like, if you get the shot, it protects you against this. You won't get it. It stops transmission. Which again, if you know anything about how mRNA vaccines have been used previously, you'd know At best, that's a 50-50 proposition. And they should have known that. They could have said it helps prevent the spread. And then at least they wouldn't be knowingly lying. But when they came out, when the CDC comes out and makes an ad that says it prevents transmission, that was just a lie. It was a lie. And they knew it was a lie at the time. Because mRNA has never been that successful. They had all kinds of hopes for mRNA, like curing cancer and diabetes, all kinds of shit they were going to do with mRNA. And then the funding dried up because it was a critical failure by medical standards, Jack.
Yeah.
Can you imagine any other drug getting approved with a 50% rate of success?
Not offhand, no.
No, because it wouldn't happen. They'd be like, you need to, and especially with known side effects. But because apparently that was the only way to cure COVID, should have had COVID parties like Monkey told you to. Yeah, suddenly the entire mRNA industry not only got a massive influx of our money, but suddenly they became the gold standard. You're not allowed to question it at all. They're still claiming mRNA is curing cancer today. Look, like the COVID vaccine, air quotes for those of you who need that, it can work sometimes. At least that's what the data shows us of mRNA. But it is not reliable. And frankly, given some of the side effects, like the muscle of your heart hardening to where it won't pump anymore, I'm not sure it's always the best idea to try. And frankly, patients should be told about the actual dangers of it.
Good luck with that.
I know. Anyway, so Jack, we are watching Senator Bennett. This is the end of his testimony, or this is the end of his questioning of RFK Jr. up there at the Senate today. And this part is just amazing. So he just called out RFK Jr. because they're coming up on a review of vaccinations for kids, what vaccines they should get. And Bennett asked him, are you gonna make all of the data public? Are you gonna have it transparent? And Kennedy said, it is transparent. It's out there. And he goes, but are you gonna make it transparent 6 weeks in advance? It's out there.
But I'm going to construct a time machine.
But Bennett here took exception because Kennedy at that point went, you never asked any questions when the pharmaceutical companies were running these guys up here on these committees in the CDC and NIH. You just let the pharmacy, you had nothing to say then. And that's where we are.
You
Are you
described
saying, Senator,
moving the Titanic.
Senator, are you saying that the mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
No.
He flipped the script. He asked the senator a question and then called him out for not answering it. I am not the biggest RFK fan because that is a dirty commie on your screen right now. Make no mistake about that.
Indeed.
But that was epic. That was well played. Wait a second. Viking, it is your birthday, Viking Buddha. This is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Viking.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one, my friend.
Indeed.
But yeah, hey, are you saying that this is that? The funny part about this is all of the people that Kennedy fired that this guy's so mad about were the people who are like, there's no evidence that myocarditis comes from this, except for all the evidence that we're hiding. And that's
that doesn't count if you don't know about it.
It's not even a question anymore that the CDC knew that there was a link to myocarditis in mostly young men, and that they hid that shit to keep pushing the COVID vaccine
Yeah, well, look at
on a
the
group of
effective
people who didn't need it.
hate fact, first of all. Second of all, if the mRNA was 50% effective and myocarditis was only 20% of a chance, you still have a 30% plus, right? So it's obviously good.
True.
That's the logic we're
No,
dealing
but
with, right?
wait. No, the myocarditis will happen even if the vaccine doesn't work for you. So it's still 20%. So it's actually 80%, Jack.
Actually, you're using what we refer to as hate logic.
I know.
And,
I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's been disallowed for years now. So you have to go with the established and accepted science of logic that they said 5 minutes ago was okay.
I don't know where the cute chick back here smirking is, but
She's
watch
touching
her
herself.
to try to get around hearing Bobby's voice, because goddamn, dude.
Oh,
It's
his
not-
voice is like listening to a rock monster.
Anyhow,
I'm asking the questions here,
You're
Mr.
evading
Kennedy.
that question.
I'm asking the questions,
Oh, I
Mr.
asked you a
Kennedy.
question.
I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf.
I'm asking the question, Mr. Kennedy. And look, that's how these guys are set up. You're not supposed to challenge them at all, which frankly more people need to do, because I don't give a shit that you're a senator when you're up there lying and standing up for the people who. His whole thing, he's following the first Democrat questioner who was like, "You're gonna kill kids if you take away their vaccines." You literally killed kids with the COVID vaccine. The chance of a child dying, 17 and under, Jack, from COVID was so ridiculously small, nobody ever quoted the statistics on it. More kids, especially the younger you get, the more likely the child was to die from regular flu, which is only a couple hundred a year, Jack.
Yeah.
Horrible for those families, but out of the 3.6 million children born every year is not that much.
Yeah, pretty statistically small.
Statistically irrelevant. And you guys pushed this on them when they didn't need it. There was no reason to push that on kids at all. There was no reason to push that on people under 50.
Yeah, well, statistically, most people weren't getting sick and dying of this unless they had a pre-existing condition. This was something that was affecting immunocompromised people and the elderly the most. And, the fatties,
Fats.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But, the majority of people did not need this shot. But they make a lot of money by making you get the shot. And I'm sure a lot of these senators were getting kickbacks in some regard, whether it was campaign donations or presents.
And not only did they not question that shit, they would destroy anybody who did.
Yep. And they did destroy several people's careers.
And this killed kids.
They don't care.
This should have been a huge thing. With
It
people
should
going,
be
what
still
the
a
fuck
huge
is...
scandal.
Oh, sure, yeah. This man right here, he should be thanking Bobby Kennedy for firing the people who were involved with that.
Yeah, and some of them should probably be prosecuted.
And again, I'm not even against the COVID vaccine. I still say, especially for old people, probably a good thing. The myocarditis stuff is mostly, it's so weird. I wish they would actually study this. Why was it affecting basically from 15 to 25?
It's got to be something with the way your body changes from puberty.
Yeah.
Because that age range is where you're really developing the most. So it's got to be something to do with that. But they're not studying that because it would make them look bad. And God forbid they look bad in the eyes of the public. Instead of trying to fix the problem they created, they don't actually have any interest in solving problems.
The real scary part about that is myocarditis is not typically immediately deadly.
Oh, yeah, it can lurk for a while.
It's about 5 years after it kicks in that by 5 years you're gone. Which, let me do math here. 2020, 2025. Fuck.
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
Anyway, back to this, because this is where he starts to get mad, and it's funny as shit.
Half of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership.
Did you hear the 3 things he named? Schools, children, and teachers. One of those is a building.
Yes, the buildings deserve better.
The schools deserve better.
I'm guessing he's including like the administration, but he didn't say that.
No.
So maybe he is referring to buildings.
Then he says the children. I'm glad he threw those in. That was nice of him.
Well,
and
Democrats love standing on kids.
Then the one he really cares about and goes back to his first, the teachers. Remember, we didn't shut down schools for sick kids.
No, we did it for the teachers union.
We did it for the teachers. We did it because they were like, I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to put on clothes.
Interesting how he left out parents, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting how he just left out the population of the country, because it's not like RFK Jr.'s decisions are only affecting school buildings.
Well, look, there's 2 things Democrats love to stand on, which is children and unions. Also, public administration. So he hit all 3 on the head. That's the stuff he actually cares about. He doesn't give a fuck about the population. They're not donating to his campaign like the teachers union is, like the national endowments are doing. He doesn't give a fuck about the plebs.
The teachers unions, lots of people are giving it. Hey, a whole generation was fucked up because they couldn't go to school for a year. Frankly, I question the logic of that, and I know there's going to be people mad at me about that, but frankly, missing a year of school is probably not the worst thing that ever happened to kids. But
not with this education system.
The teachers unions were also like, hey, we got to all have vaccine. We got a vaccine, little Timmy. They were pushing the bad science, you fucknut. Nut says he has a tiny little mouth. Did you miss when I started this, Nuts, when I was talking about him? Because his mouth is one of the reasons I hate him. Like, why are you talking like that? Open your fucking lips, dude.
Yeah, he has a prune face.
Yes.
Like the Dick Tracy villain.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
I think his wrinkles have stretched his mouth in a weird way, so it looks like a butthole. And I think that's why you hate him, because he looks like he's talking out of his ass.
He's got that tiny, you're right, he's got a tiny little butthole mouth, and he talks with that preppy 90s stereotype, like the people that Lewis hung out with before Eddie Murphy ruins his life in Trading Places.
Yes. He's got that haughty, rich New Yorker way of talking, and his hair looks fake.
I'm so much better than you. Fucking dick. Anyway, he's mad as shit.
That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
Senator Cassidy. Thank you. I'll try and restore a little calm here.
I just love that shit. Yeah, fuck you, Senator Bennett. You're an asshole, and you know what? The first guy, Wyden, his bitch ass opens up by talking about how RFK was changing the vaccines, which hasn't been done and is not. There's a good chance that doesn't even happen. There's a very good chance that the changes don't happen. They get reviewed all the time. But suddenly it's a big deal because RFK got rid of the shitbags who've given us bad medical advice for decades. Don't worry, guys. Opioids are safe. You remember that, right, Jack?
Yes, all too well.
For those of you who are too young to remember, opioids are put on the market under the idea that they were safe and non-addictive. It's like, hey, this fake heroin is perfectly safe.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 20s when they were prescribing morphine like it was
Right.
nothing. And then if you got addicted to it and they finally figured out that it was addictive and they're like, oh, you got a problem. Here, try this cocaine to kick your
Yes.
morphine habit.
These are the people who were in charge during that thinking is what got us here. And RFK's like, no, you guys are bad at your jobs. You're gone. And I'm not saying he brought in the best people, Jack. Frankly, I don't know him well enough.
Yeah, we'll
But
find out over time.
are they going to be worse? Probably not. But anyway, Wyden, you're going to kill the kids. And his example that he uses, the source that he goes to, is the American Association of Pediatrics.
Yeah, the gender affirming ass clowns.
Yeah. These are the people that care so much about the children that they push the nonsense of the AAP, which not only embraced gender affirming care, Jack, they re-embraced it. They said that we believe in this so much that we're going to reaffirm affirming care. That is a real thing. This is from their website. The AAP News. AAP reaffirms gender affirming care policy, authorizes systemic review of evidence to guide update. So they reaffirmed it while announcing that they're going to finally look into it. For the kids.
Look, we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. It's standard government mantra. Like, this is what I like to now call institutional arrogance. They are the authorities, and they have graced you with their knowledge because they are right, and they told themselves they're right. They investigated themselves and found out how awesome they were. So of course they're right, you dummy.
I just can't with these people, man. Look, I'm not sold on everything RFK is doing. I think that there's just as many bad players on the what's called conspiracy theory side as there are in the mainstream medical side. I think way too many of them have agendas and aren't actually focused on the science.
Yes.
Way too many of them are just pharmaceutical companies all suck. Sure, maybe some of them all suck, or maybe some pharmaceutical stuff is actually good for us, Jack. Like, insulin for diabetics.
Yeah, that could be good for us.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that there's not an outsized role that they're playing in getting a lot of shit. Again, opioids are safe and non-addictive. So maybe we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We do a systemic review of everything. And the shit that is nonsense, like gender affirming care, we get rid of it.
Yep.
And again, I don't know these doctors well enough to know which side they fall on, if they are, if there's a few of them who actually do care about the science. What I do know is there's activists on both sides.
Oh, absolutely. And anybody that says their sources, trust me, bro.
Yeah.
Or, never question the science, or it's settled. They're obviously pushing an agenda and have, they would have source material, studies, reviews to assist in their support for their stance. But a lot of these places, it's all a bunch of bullshit pseudoscience.
The problem with what you said is that they do. You see, they have studies.
No, they don't have real studies. They have nonsense modern studies where they just approve each other's. It's a purity spiral.
Look, just because they take out all of the bad shit and refuse to give that to the public doesn't mean it's not a study. It just means we shouldn't trust it.
It's not a legitimate study if they're doing
It's not.
that.
No.
And I'm really sick of that shit. They have corrupted academics so much And there's always been some of that kind of bullshit going on, but it was never on the scale it is now, where it's just all rubber stamped and they're all sucking each other off in the back room.
Yeah.
They have set us back probably decades, if not longer, on medical advancements because of this nonsense.
True. Yeah. All right, Jack. It's time for a blast from the past.
Uh-oh.
Lauren Chen has crawled out of her hole to ask for $150,000 to help with her legal fees.
That's ironic since I'd like to get into her. I mean,
Can I just point,
Lauren, call me.
I'm bothered by this picture, and I'm going to move it off the screen now. It's Lauren holding a child with another child there, and they block the one child's face, but not the other.
Yeah, babies all look alike, though. You're not going to be able to pick that baby out of a lineup. That's why Baby Finster was so successful in Bugs Bunny.
Or she's like, it's expensive. I need somebody to steal this kid. Just kidding. Just kidding. I don't think she's trying to get her child kidnapped. But why the fuck wouldn't you block out both of their faces?
Because nobody would recognize that kid in a lineup, dude. You'd have to, I mean, look, it's a one-child policy too, right? Oh, wait, they got rid of that.
All right, look, I'm going to be as fair as I can here with what we know, okay? But if Lauren's watching, you might want to turn away now because you don't like when I criticize you. Is that baby Musk Chen? No. Lauren never got high enough to, not high enough, noticed by Elon in that manner. Help Lauren Chen fight the DOJ. Dun, dun, dun. Last year, the FBI sent 30 armed agents to raid our home, waking myself, my husband, and our 2-year-old daughter in the early hours of the morning. I was 4 months pregnant at the time. That baby is, wait, when did this happen? That's a big baby.
About a year ago.
That's a pretty big baby sitting in her lap.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably several months old at that point in the photo. I was a big fat baby. I got no room to talk.
I was a big fat baby. You just don't expect Asian babies to be big like that.
Well, it's only going to be a quarter Asian because she's half.
Isn't her man Asian?
No, he's that ugly, weird-looking dude that couldn't handle his own on the show.
Yeah, that dude, I swear he was Asian.
He didn't look no Asian to me.
Yes, he did.
I don't know. He just looked like some troll.
Anyhow.
I'm not humping her, so anybody that does is, some disgusting troglodyte in my book.
I'm not judging the babies. Look, my second youngest granddaughter is a giant. And my youngest granddaughter is a teeny tiny little thing. So if I go from holding my second youngest to picking up the youngest, it's kind of like when you go to pick up a box you think has stuff in it and it's empty. Like there's going to be a heavy box and you almost throw it. Yeah, I have to be very careful holding my youngest granddaughter after holding the second youngest.
Oh. Yeah.
And she's not fat. She's really tall too. She's just a big child.
Huh.
And so I'm not judging. I thought Asian babies were smaller. That's all. Just saying. Fat babies are cute. Depends on how fat. I've seen some that actually look like Cabbage Patch dolls, and it's not. I know we're not supposed to say some babies are ugly, but some babies are absolutely ugly.
I've seen a lot of ugly babies over the years.
And you can usually tell because their parents are ugly too.
Yeah, and every now and then you get some pretty people, and they have a baby that looks like it fell a few stories and landed only to the face.
Yes.
And the reconstructive surgery didn't take. Yeah, it's pretty tragic.
Cheeks good for pinching. Don't do that to children. I have a pinchable face, and all of my aunts used to do that shit, and I hated it.
Yeah, I don't get the face pinching thing. That's unsettling.
Jen says, I've seen chubby Asian baby. I wasn't just talking about, she's not fat at all. She just looks tall. She tall Asians. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Yao Ming would disagree.
I'm just saying Lauren stole that baby. That's all.
I mean, that might be a prop baby. I don't know.
Somewhere there's a white family wondering why their child has straight black hair.
And high definition eyes.
Oh, we're getting in so much trouble for this
What's
shit.
this wee shit? You started this. I'm just a hitchhiker.
It's a very cute baby. I just didn't expect it to be so big. That's all.
Yeah, it's adorable. Look,
It is adorable.
She is a lovely lady. I'm sure her kids are both going to be very adorable.
All right, where are we? I was 4 months pregnant at the time. There's a clip for you guys. In a press release later that day, Merrick Garland and the Biden DOJ painted myself, my husband, and our company tenant as Ruppin. I mixed Russian and propaganda. My bad.
We were painted as weapon, Russian propaganda. Jesus, monkey.
Oh, fuck. As Russian propagandists intent on sowing division and interfering in American elections. Of course, those allegations were untrue. Were they? Were they? I mean, didn't we see the text of them talking? She knew they were Russian and didn't tell anybody else involved.
As I recall, that is accurate.
Look, it's the DOJ. It was under the Biden administration. So I am willing to believe that they were dirty. But, Lauren, you're going to have to explain those text messages to me.
Tell you what, why doesn't she explain them to me over candlelight dinner? And we'll see where it goes from there. I bet I could be convinced.
She's married with kids. You can't break up a family like that.
Does a Canadian wedding count?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh. All right. First, leave your husband, and then
There you
come
go.
over and explain it to me.
That's still breaking up the family, Jack.
Well, no, she'll have broken up the family, and then I'm going to be her rebound. I'm really
your
good
request.
at rebounding.
All right, anyway, where are we?
I'm here for healing, ladies.
The FBI and DOJ may not appreciate the conservative and right-wing social media content we published, but it was solely the product of our creators' sincerely held beliefs. We merely licensed their creative content, which they had complete control over. Yes, this part is true. From everything we've seen. However, you were still paying them with Russian money. You were helping to signal boost them with Russian money. You can sit here and say they were saying, and we've been over this point, Jack. There's nobody can point to anything the tenant folks did. There was one unnamed person, and if I remember correctly, was that one found out to be Benny? I can't remember, but one who they were like, hey, talk about this story this way. And they said, okay, maybe. But they never provided like the video where he did that or anything. So there was some, pressure maybe to cover something, but they were still given full editorial control over their own content. Unlike what we saw with the liberals, which, by the way, that is blown up. I didn't even realize it at the time when we did that Wired article, that article came from Taylor Lorenz.
I didn't realize that either, but that's actually kind of surprising because if I suspected anyone of being a paid shill, it would have been Taylor Lorenz.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
She
dear.
is a paid shill.
Just not for them or
Not for them, yes. Remember
shill wars.
Remember the guy we watched who looks like Andy Worski?
Oh, the guy that looked like unfortunate Andy Worski?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came out in a reply to all of that and pointed out she is getting, wait for it, $8,000 a month from one of these organizations to do what she does.
They're all on the take. Jesus
Yes.
Christ. I'm not surprised by the left on that.
Me neither.
So, yeah, I mean, that's why I don't consider this as big of a deal because, yeah, they didn't disclose the Russian money aspect, but there was no editorial control like there is with the chorus thing.
You still, if you're working for the propaganda of another country, you're supposed to declare that. And
Yeah,
as far
but
as
I
we
think
know,
that-
she never did.
I don't know if they knew that though.
Well, the
I mean,
creators know, but Lauren herself did, from what we saw.
well, she knew it was Russian money, but did she know she had to disclose that?
With some of the stuff that she's covered, I can't believe she didn't. But I can't say that she did for sure.
Yeah, see that's the problem I have with this this one has gotten a lot of attention, but the chorus thing to me is way more egregious. They're telling them what to say, how to say it.
The chorus folks were smarter than Lauren. Lauren should have set up a 501c4 in order to do all of this.
Yeah, that's why you always talk to an attorney when you set this sort of thing up.
I need to clarify what I just said. I am not saying she actually should have done that, but if she wanted to keep the Russian connection hidden, that's how you do that. It's what the chorus folks are doing, and the various other leftist media charities are doing. These are tax exempt organizations that don't have to reveal who donates to them.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with not having people have to give their name when they donate to shit to a certain point until questions arise. And then it's like, okay, who's funding this? Because look, there is a chance that there's Americans willing to pay at minimum $3, $4, $5 million a year to hear David Pakman's bullshit. But I don't think there's many of them.
I mean, how many masochists could there be in the country?
But anyway, where are we? So she is right about this part, that as far as we can tell, there is no evidence that the editorial decisions of the people, Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and Dave Rubin, who else was on there? Lauren Southern and that weird dude with the beard, the ginger guy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Matt Christensen. I'm like, wait.
No, that's a different weird dude with a beard. There's no evidence that they changed their content in any context for the people who were paying for Tenet. But that's not the law that you're accused of violating. Anyway, where are we? Ultimately, we were never charged with any crime, much less brought to trial and convicted. That is true.
Yes.
But nonetheless, the FBI and DOJ, specifically the Southern District of New York, inflicted a huge amount of damage on ourselves. Or sorry, to our lives. My eyesight, I apologize, guys. This is why we now regrettably find ourselves asking for assistance towards our still mounting legal cost. I don't understand why she has still mounting legal cost if the DOJ, because she makes it sound, she said, ultimately we were never charged. Instead of like, so far we haven't been charged.
Yeah.
Ultimately makes it sound like this is done.
I think it's just a manner of speaking in which she does. And I think it is over from what she says later on.
Yeah, so I don't get the mounting legal costs there, unless maybe they're trying to get their money back from the government that the government took.
You have to sue the government for any seized assets.
Which, by the way, I'm against seized assets, and I know people are going to hate this, but I think even if you're charged with like stealing money, unless they can prove that money has been stolen in a court of law, that's your money right up until you're convicted. And in our system, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
You should be allowed to use that for your legal fund.
Yeah, technically.
Because you're innocent at that point.
Yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
And my problem is that they likely use civil asset forfeiture on this, and I absolutely detest that.
Me too.
Too many innocent people lose lots of money that way, and the government's just like, fuck you. And I'm guessing that's what happened here. That's speculation, but that's the DOJ's modus operandi, is to do civil asset forfeiture. And then you have to sue the feds to get your money back, and it ends up costing you lots of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that's what they're doing. And they're probably trying to get their visas back too.
Over the past year, we have accumulated over 6 figures worth of lawyers' fees for ourselves and our company, not just in America, but in Canada as well. I don't know what's going on with her in Canada. I know that she was called before their parliament to answer questions, and she was like, I plead the fifth. And they're like, this is Canada. You can't plead the fifth in Canada. I don't know what all happened with that. It's not like it made major headlines the way the story did when it first broke.
I think they just let it go after a while.
But anyway, where are we? What has made the burden of these legal fees even harder to bear is the fact that the FBI, during their raid on our home, also informed us that they were freezing and later seizing the contents of our bank accounts, which contained our life savings. Although the investigation into us and the company has closed with no charges or convictions against us, the SDNY, Southern District of New York, refused to return any of our funds. See, and this is where we get into there's a dark side of civil asset forfeiture.
Most of it's a dark side.
And then there's an even darker side.
Yeah.
It's like, look, we're not charging you with anything, but you can't have your shit back. And the fact that this is legal in the United States, that the Supreme Court has not shot this shit all the way down. Lauren, you want my money? I would donate to you suing the federal government all the way up to the Supreme Court to overturn civil asset forfeiture.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And look, how do I say it? I could at least get on board with like, okay, you've been found guilty. We're taking this money that you stole from other people, which, by the way, is not the charge here. She's not charged with stealing. This is, you got money in a way we don't like, in a perfectly legal way we don't like.
Yeah, that's just it. It was something the feds didn't like. And you may not like it either, but they don't get to just take your stuff.
But it's do.
In the Constitution.
And the Supreme Court has upheld civil asset forfeiture in the past.
Yeah, which is disgusting.
But in those cases, it's with people who are guilty, or at least have been found guilty.
Yeah, and it was always like despicable people like drug dealers and drug runners. But
look,
too many times we've seen, and there are tons of cases on this, somebody's driving to buy a used car, they get pulled over, they're found with a bunch of money in cash, and the cops just seize it. And it's perfectly legal, and it's how a lot of task force are funded.
There was that whole place that what's it called? A mailbox place down in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Where they just came, all of these people are drug dealers, and seized the whole fucking thing.
Yep.
Anyway, where are we?
They lost on that one, by the way. It took years, but some of the people got their stuff back. Not everybody, just some of them.
But they didn't get any of the money back for the lawyer fees they spent.
Nope.
Nothing for that.
No. And to fight this in court costs almost as much as you've lost more often than not. And what they do is that they assign local police officers to be part of a special task force, and they get the local cops to be their jackboots. So they seize it from random people driving down the street, and then they get it funneled into the federal government. So then it's not in the police hands anymore, so you can't get it back from them. And then you have to go to the feds, and the feds have given a percentage kickback as part of like a funding thing. It's a very shell game way of doing things. There was a case in Michigan where the guy successfully sued the city, and the judge actually said, I don't care that you handed the money off to the feds. That's your problem. You have to pay it back to him.
Yeah.
And they made it come out of the city budget, which was shocking. And I know they were appealing that, but this happens all the time to people, and it's disgusting.
It is a blatant violation of the Constitution, of the Bill of Rights.
Absolutely. The founding fathers would be repulsed by this because this is the type of shit that sparked a revolution to begin with. You start taking innocent people's stuff without compensation.
And just like the RICO laws, it comes to us courtesy of the war on drugs.
Yeah, it's an excuse to steal people's stuff.
Yep.
I don't care how they dress it up, you're still stealing. If they're convicted, that's one thing. But if they're not even charged, which happens way more than you think, they'll drop the charges. They don't give it back. They're like, "Fuck you, come get it."
Yeah, they should not be able to seize. Look, even if they can seize it, Jack, they need to put it in a little holding cell, and when you're either not guilty or they don't charge, it goes back to you.
Yep.
Frankly, I don't think they should be able to seize it in the first place. Now, look, if you're talking about an illegal substance, you got drugs or illegal guns, yeah, seize those. But that's because those are illegal by themselves. Money is not.
Yeah, they better have some exceptional circumstances to be taking money. And I just don't like it. I don't trust the government enough to do it honestly because there's way too many corrupt people in there.
Where are we? To make matters worse, while at the time we did have some other bank accounts not touched by the FBI, those funds were quickly depleted by corporate costs we suddenly found ourselves personally liable for. I don't understand how they got. Did you guys not form an LLC? That's just bad planning.
Well, it's bad business. They clearly didn't talk to a business lawyer before they set this thing up. I think that's the biggest problem here is they're approaching it like a YouTube thing and not an actual business.
Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Yeah, and but see, that's the weird. I could have swore this was all set up as an actual company and everything.
Well, look, you can file a lot of that shit by yourself online through like LegalZoom. That doesn't mean they actually went to somebody and said, "We want to set up a business. Here's what our plan is." That's the smart way to do it. If you're dealing with this kind of money, you got millions of dollars, you better get a lawyer.
Or they had to pay for normal corpo shit. Well, at that point, why? Let me get this. Tall person, thank you. Hoy, just got home from work. So back to the start for me. Grats on 9 years of streaming. We all know how hard live streaming is. Well, in fairness, it's only about 8.5 years of live streaming. It's 9 years on YouTube. As of Monday, it's actually not today. It's Monday.
Amateur.
Shut up, wash boy.
I've been on YouTube for 15 years.
Mofo says, or they had to pay for normal corpo shit because the corporate account were frozen. I'm wondering, though, okay, I hear you, but this isn't like IBM. It's not like she had a CFO and a COO and they had lots of outgoing receipts. They paid people to make YouTube comment and had to run a YouTube channel. That was what Tenet Media was. So you might be right, but if so, she's worse at business than I thought. You're Asian, woman. How are you fucking this up?
Well, that just means she's good at numbers. She's not Japanese. She's Chinese.
Fair. Where are we? Specifically because the FBI froze our bank accounts at the beginning of the month, our company payroll for the previous pay period and the payment for our corporate charge card. The fuck were you putting on a charge card for Tenet Media?
Probably like taking people out to, court them, like taking them out to dinner and strip clubs to get them to sign on.
I guess.
There's probably some overhead stuff you have to pay for. Oh, real quick. Thank you, JB. Money for Jack. Yay, that's my favorite thing. Picked up Twilight Samurai recently. Can't wait to see it. Oh, cool. Let me know what you think, man. Hope you like it. And thank you, Tall Person. Happy Eating Extra Dessert Day. Don't mind if I do. I know you want the denizens of your love den thin, but it doesn't hurt to spoil them once in a while. Oh, no, they're not getting an extra dessert, but I will. I don't mind being if I'm fat. They're not allowed to get fat. But thank you, Tall Person and JB. You guys are awesome.
Where are we? Specifically, the bank accounts at the beginning of the month, our company's payroll for the previous pay period, and the payment for our corporate charge card. JB, Money for Monkey. I also picked up Stardew Valley, another thing I'm looking forward to. I've actually been thinking of doing a series to kickstart the game channel since I haven't been actually gaming over there. But me and Scribe used to do movies you should have watched. I've thought about doing games you should have played, and Stardew Valley is one of them. I was actually working on a script in my head as I was trying to go to sleep last night. Stardew Valley is more fun than it has any right to be. And I recommend that game to all gamers.
Yeah, you know, I'm not a gamer, but I watched you playing, and it looked like you had so much fun playing the game.
It is,
you know, it's not my thing, but it has like that Legend of Zelda look to it.
It is strangely addictive.
It looked like it because you seem to be playing for quite a while, and you seem to be having a really good time with it. So, yeah, I've told a couple of people about it.
Where are we? Thank you for the donation, JB. And payment of the corporate charge card, which covered the entire month of tenant operations. Did not go through our then frozen accounts. We pleaded with the SDNY to allow us to access some of the money they had seized to pay our employees, but they refused. Yeah, I mean, I understand you asking them for that, but that was going to be a no.
Yeah.
You not paying your employees is not their problem. And if you had formed an LLC, it sounds to me, and I'm just guessing based on this, that she decided to pay these things out of her own pocket, but she didn't have to. She was trying to make it right. Like she was paying. Look, Tim Pool didn't care about however much you were paying him. Lauren Southern might have because she's not as well off. But if you had formed an LLC, they would have had to sue the LLC to try to recover anything. And you, if you had formed one, would not be liable for that. So maybe she did this out of, I can't believe I'm saying it's about a woman, out of just feeling responsible for it.
Accountability is weird with, but she's Asian. So yeah, look, I get it. You want to make it right with people, especially people that you've known for a while.
Yeah.
Or you're on good terms with.
Yeah.
I don't like fucking over my friends. So I get it.
Unique Jackalope, thank you. Get to catch you live again after spending the day getting quotes to remodel my kitchen. Back to the beginning. Ooh, bro, that's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Even if you live in like one of those little tiny New York apartments that's got a half of a stove, a mini fridge, and one counter, that's still going to be several $1,000s.
All remodeling is a scam. They're ripping you off.
It depends, because if you do stuff yourself, it can come out looking like you did stuff yourself. And if you get a contractor, hopefully it looks good at the end.
Yeah, I get that. And you want to get somebody to do it, but make sure they're licensed and bonded, so they have something to lose if they bail on you or fuck it up really bad. I know too many people that just hire any old random handyman, and they don't look into seeing if they have any kind of insurance at all.
Where are we? So we spent the last of our own personal money to fulfill the obligations to our workers and to cover all expense. Our workers. He's a YouTuber, sweetie. You should have said employees there. She makes it sound like they were working the field and shit. They were busy pouring coffee. No, these are YouTubers. Shut up. Where are we? Our workers and cover all expenses tenant had incurred during the previous months tens of thousands of dollars. And if this past year wasn't costly enough already, immigration issues have also contributed to our legal bills and legal challenges. We have been on a work visa through our company since 2022, and that was up for another renewal in January. Whoopsie.
Oops.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm going to be as charitable as I can. But you're an immigrant who is taking money from a Russian company to do political propaganda in the United States.
Allegedly.
No, this is all on the record. Now, I'm not saying that anybody did the propaganda, but that was who was paying for the propaganda, the political propaganda in the U.S. And you thought that was a good idea? You didn't wait You didn't wait to become a citizen first?
Like you back up a dump truck full of money to someone, and their thinking process definitely goes out the window a lot of times.
You're Asian. You are too smart for this shit. Anyway, where are we? Evidently, although the FBI said we were always free to continue to do business, their actions and public statements made this impossible in practice. We were debanked by most institutions we held accounts with. Most of our social media platforms were banned, and our public reputations were tarnished. Okay. Still, we filed an application to renew our visa, and it was received by USCIS. However, for reasons that are unclear to us, really, but possibly connected to our legal case, this application was never processed. Wait, it wasn't even processed?
That's the part I found weird. If that's true, there's some shenanigans going on. They have to at least reject you.
Well, I don't know how long it takes to get visa applications through.
Oh, it varies. But having had helped my brother fill out the paperwork for his wife, I know it doesn't typically take more than 6 weeks to a few months for them to at least start the process, because they will notify you. So the fact that it never got processed, somebody had their hand on the button on that one.
In April, we requested updates from our legal team, but there's still no movement on our case. In July, this culminated in our immigration lawyers team informing us that we had just days to get a passport for our infant child and leave the country or risk an illegal overstay. That's kind of fucked up.
That is really fucked up.
But again, I don't mean to be skeptical here, but I read lots of stories online of people telling me their sob story, and the reality is, let's call it, different than what they tell us.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give Lauren the benefit of the doubt on this one and say she's on the up and up here. But would it surprise me to find out that they did wait to the last minute? Not really.
No, I suspect what happened was they filled out the paperwork for their extension for their visas and never even considered the fact that it might get turned down. So instead of going ahead and getting their kid a passport, they just like hope and a prayer kind of thing.
I'm also curious how this would work, because typically with a visa, a work visa, you have to be working. And if Tenet is closed down, and as she said, she doesn't have, all her socials are closed down, which would be her business, what were they doing?
I don't know.
I am also, sorry, Lauren, you're not going to like this one. Somebody running a YouTube company doesn't have to be done in my country. You can go the fuck back to Canada to do that.
Yeah, but it does technically count as work. And if she's going around to different events, she could say she needs to be based in the U.S. for that. I'm not saying that's an airtight case or anything. I'm just saying that's the reasoning they could give.
We would never want to be in violation of the immigration laws set forth by the United States, and so we immediately began preparing to leave. At tremendous cost to us, within a couple of days, we managed to get a passport for our newest daughter in another city. Why is that part important? Did they block her from getting a passport in her home city?
It's possible that it would have been intentionally obstructed. Like they could have put them on a list of people not to help. But they probably had to get an expedited passport, and only certain cities have the agency that will do that.
Fair enough. Where are we? At tremendous cost to us, within a couple of days, we managed to get a passport for our newest daughter in another city, and have been abroad since. Abroad, you're in Canada, aren't you?
Yeah, well, that's abroad.
Is it?
Yeah, because Canada's a bitch. So bitches are chicks, chicks are broads. That counts, right?
I feel like that's okay. Math is their strong point, not English.
Yeah.
Where are we? Exploring every possible legal avenue to return to our home with our American children. Don't pull the anchor baby shit with me.
Yeah, that's not exactly the sympathy card you think it might be for us.
Yeah. When your kids are old enough to travel on their own, they can come back, I suppose. We are beyond the end of our funds. We have been debanked and cannot borrow from these institutions. What would you borrow against? I guess.
I wonder
Anyway.
if they own that house, because if they owned their
Maybe.
house, they would have equity there.
Yeah, but they could sell it and get funds that way.
You would think so, but if they're convinced they're going to come back,
and if they're debanked, where are they going to transfer funds to? She says in the
Cash App.
This comes from a tweet, and there's a response to herself that she put in there with all of her crypto wallets, so you can donate to crypto wallets for her.
Yeah.
So the debanking thing, guess can't really. I suppose you could sell your house for crypto.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to do that. I'm sure.
If the case is closed and everything, I would be going to these banks and being like, "There's no case against us."
Yeah, if the case was dropped, they should be able to see. That's one of the problems I have with banking, debanking people. They do it a little too frequently on accusations alone, and they should be able to do that shit.
Frankly, I don't think they should be able to do it anyway. I mean, if anything is a public necessity, banking is.
Yeah.
And even if you hate what somebody's saying, or even if they committed several felonies, once they're out, or in this case, wasn't even charged with anything, there's no reason banks should be allowed to be like, no, we won't do business with you. Now, look, I have no problem with banks going, we're not going to lend you money, but you can't have a checking account.
Yeah, unless you were using the bank to like launder your money and using them as an element of your crime, I don't see why you should be debanked. And it shouldn't be like, oh, you got debanked from them, you can't do it with us either. That's bullshit. Same thing with Stripe and MasterCard and all those guys. I find that detestable. It's very un-American, very Soviet.
Adult stores have to be ADA compliant because everybody needs access to everything. But hey, banking, that's something they get to decide on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a weird system we live in, Jack.
I know. It's a very corrupt system, and it didn't used to be anywhere near this bad.
Our extraordinary legal situation amassed staggering bills, while separate from our life savings, were stripped from us, despite having been charged with no crime. Again, sweetie, we're with you on the asset seizure.
Yeah.
Lauren's visa. Wait a minute. I just want to make sure I read this right. Where was that? Last year, did it waking myself, my husband, and our 2-year-old. Lauren's visa.
I'm guessing that this paragraph either got added in later or forgot that they were writing in first person.
All right, I was just making sure that I read the first part right, because I was like, wasn't this Lauren writing it? Maybe sometimes she speaks of herself in the third person. Monkey does that sometimes. Monkey can take great joy in talking about himself.
Oh, one does love oneself sometimes. It's the royal aspect, the royal we. I don't know. I got nothing, dude. I think somebody added the paragraph in later.
What's good amount? Good amount of what? Anyway, where are we? Lauren's visa and path to American citizenship was torpedoed, and we have not been able to generate revenue during this whole year due to the damage done by the Justice Department. The Logical Mail, thank you. Quick question. Did the Blaze know about Chen's starting up Tenet Media? I don't know, because didn't she start up Tenet after she left the Blaze?
I believe so. I think she was still doing like freelance stuff for the Blaze, like doing articles and stuff for their website, but I don't think that she still worked at the Blaze as like a full-time commentator. As I recall, she had left doing the video aspects sometime before Tenet became a thing.
Yeah. All right, where are we? But that comes to an end now. We must be allowed to move on with our lives, so we are finally breaking our silence to ask for your help and to try and get back to our lives before the SDNY investigation. Anything you can give helps. We have lived humbly this last year due to financial difficulties and public vilification. Most of all, our family just wants to be able to return to the home we love, but that will come at its own cost. Your prayers are greatly appreciated too. Thank you, Lauren, Liam, and the rest of the Donovan family. Well, there you go. It's not doxing her. She put her whole fucking name there. Just saying. Liam. Don't marry somebody named Liam. He's going to get your kids kidnapped.
Right.
Repeatedly. Who's the comedian who said at some point you just have to say this guy's a bad father? Anyway, so look, Lauren, I sympathize because I think a lot of what happened was over the top and retarded. If you were acting as an agent of a foreign government, which if you're working for any Russian media, you absolutely are. You should have reported that, and you deserve a slap on the hand for it. You do not deserve to have the rest of your life absolutely ruined over it. There are people in our government who were guilty of this shit.
Yeah, they don't even get a fine.
Yeah.
This is something that's like a fine, and if you do it again, then maybe you do 90 days in jail or some bullshit. It's not that serious of an issue.
The Logical Mail, thank you. The Blaze fired her when all this came out. I forgot. I thought she had already been fired from them quite a ways before this came out.
Yeah, if I remember, she was doing some kind of like freelance contributor thing.
Adabisi, you be nice. He asked about this picture. Can cats have Down syndrome? Those are just tired kitties. You be nice.
They're EP kitties, not Downsy kitties.
They're so adorable. I just want to cuddle them all. They're not that size anymore. If I remember correctly, and Retro, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't one of these the cat that we saw licking himself that we kept putting on the screen the other day?
With his leg up.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I am assuming he was licking himself. He look, Phoebe does just sit like that sometimes too.
She was a showgirl at the Copa.
Yes. Here's my junk. Look at it. Although it is better than because we've mostly had female cats or neutered cats, so I don't have to look at cat balls. But my wife, she has the weirdest sense of humor. She saw a thing on Amazon where you could get a calendar of cat balls. It's 12 months of pictures with cats' balls showing. And she thought that was the funniest shit ever. And she bought it for my oldest son, who also thought it was the funniest thing. He's so much like his mother. So much like his mother. And they both got it was funny, but it wasn't that funny. Those two thought it was the funniest shit ever.
Have you seen the calendar of dogs pooping in beautiful places?
I know of it. I have not. I don't find dog shitting to be something I want to look at.
No, me either. But there's a niche for everything.
There really is. Talking about cat balls now. All right. Lauren, here's what you need to do. You need to go on a show. This one, perhaps, and answer questions. The case is over, according to you, so there shouldn't be any lawyers out there telling you, "Hey, don't talk about this." And you said you're ending your silence there. You need to go. It can even be a friendly place, but they need to ask you the real questions. Like, this here seems to show that you absolutely knew these people were Russian. Did you? And let people judge you based on the answers that you give. I think what they've done to you, but see, I feel that way about, Bernie Madoff. They shouldn't have been able to seize all his assets until after he was convicted.
Yeah.
And so I sympathize. I hope you find a way to take care of everything. I hope you get your money back. But this doesn't answer any of the questions that came up because of all of this. That didn't answer any questions, Jack. It was just, we haven't been charged. Okay. But did you do it?
It answered one of my questions. Is she still married? So.
Oh, no, I meant in regard to the case, not.
Oh, yeah.
General
I'm fairly,
curiosity.
indifferent about the whole thing. Look, it ruined her life for sure, but they shouldn't have been able to seize her assets. I'm absolutely with you on that. And if they're not going to charge her, it shouldn't be a problem to get her visa back. But you know how the government works.
And I hear you, but on that, I'm going to stand on my point. I don't think you deserve a visa for being a YouTuber in the U.S.
No, but I get.
Do that shit from the Canadian hellhole you're from.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live in French Canada either because she's from Montreal, dude.
But
that's refugee status.
I wouldn't want to live in Mexico, but I'm not giving anybody a pass to come here just because Mexico sucks.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd rather look. I'm obviously biased because there's an Asian girl who's pretty that wants to come to the U.S. and I'm all about letting the Asian pretty girls come.
I don't care that she's pretty. There's pretty women here.
No, there's
pretty Asian women here.
Are there? Because there seem to be a lot of them with pink hair.
They're the only ones who can really pull that off. Sorry, white girls.
Yeah, well.
And black pop stars. You ever notice that you don't see just running around a black girl with like pink hair? That's always pop stars.
Well, it's pop stars and hood rats.
I don't even see hood rats with that shit.
Oh, I've seen a few. It's unsettling.
You know what it is? It's white girls spreading. It needs to stop.
Yeah, it's that pumpkin spice that they lure you in with a free sample.
Hey, black people, do not let your women drink pumpkin spice. It'll ruin them.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, have you seen the Rallies commercials with this woman, Glorilla?
Yes.
That bitch is ugly. Holy shit. What happened to her face?
I know I've seen them because that was a something that came up after the Sydney Sweeney thing.
Well, they're all over YouTube because I can't escape those stupid ads. And oh my gosh, she is just unfortunate looking.
She looks like somebody else.
Tyler Perry?
No. A female. Oh. She kind of looks like Rihanna. That's who it is. But I'm not. I will stand by that. Hang on. Let me finish my sentence there.
Oh, sorry.
She kind of looks like Rihanna, but something went really, really wrong. Like she ran into a wall and then her head got stuck in some device that elongates it.
Oh, like a vice or something? Some cartoonish vice? Now, this is Rihanna here on the screen, correct?
No, this is her. That's why I said she looks like
That's a
Rihanna.
lot of makeup because that Rally's had... Rihanna's got bigger forehead than Glorilla. But that Rally's ad, I don't know what they did to the camera angles. She looks horrifying.
She's not attractive, and she puts on makeup to look attractive, and not good makeup to look attractive.
Yeah, look, makeup is a tool of Satan to make average chicks and ugly chicks look attractive. I agree with the ancients on this one that women that wear too much makeup are probably prostitutes.
Okay, this is from a couple of days ago, and we're only watching it because it's fucking hilarious. Where are we? There we go.
Something to me. I would like to know why Champion at Target.
She bought some pants at Target, Jack. Have you seen this video?
No.
This is amazing.
A center pleat.
Oh, real quick, Furry Kitty, thank you so much. Have a happy monkey. Far better than the based Mama Zoo chaos. Well, almost fair. All right. Wait for it.
Wow. Oh my God.
Cryptic, thank you. They both look like the human Klingons from the original Star Trek. I can see that, but yeah.
I would have gone Next Generation, but that's just me.
Well, Next Generation, they much more exaggerated the ridges on the forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stand by my statement.
I asked on Twitter if this color is camel brown. This was on purpose. It had to be.
Yeah, either that or nobody thought to actually put on the pants they made.
There's no way you make this and don't realize you have a vagina on the front of your pants.
All right. We're gonna make a new line of pants, right? And we need it to look like a camel toe. Sir, that's a terrible idea. We should just go full vajayjay on it.
Yes.
Oh, you're right, Johnson. That's a great idea.
Look, they already make pants, or at least an insert you can get for your pants to give you camel toe, even if you don't have it. I don't know why, but this isn't even camel toe. That's full on vagina.
Is this for trans folk?
I don't know. But ladies in my audience, I need you guys to go buy these pants and take crotch pictures for me with the pants on.
Please,
I do
don't
not
send
need
them
to see.
me.
I don't need to see your crotch. I'm not Hassan. But I need y'all to. I need a big woman to go buy a pair of these. Any of y'all weigh about 300 pounds could go get a pair of these pants and put them on, take a picture.
Tag monkey only in that. I do not.
I'm gonna put it on the show.
No, I don't want to. I will avert my gaze from that. That is.
I like how her shirt seems to be trying to crawl away from it.
I don't blame it. That's horrifying looking.
Vagina
Whose
pants.
vagina goes up that far anyway?
Nobody. Well, okay. I saw a Real Sex on HBO once. Those do exist.
Yeah, but I don't.
I'm still traumatized by that.
Oh yeah, imagine.
There was this one episode of Real Sex where these people went to an outdoor retreat, and the men all go off in one area and the women all go off in another, and they all get naked and chant and do weird shit. And the women's group, they laid in a circle with their feet touching, naked, pushing their vaginas up into the air while like grunting. And
Chicks are weird.
This one lady, oh my God, it looked like buckwheat had got stuck in her vagina. There was so much hair. Like,
was it Debbie Moore?
Oh, I don't know who she was. And it was a white lady. I'm not being racist there, but you know, it looked like an afro was coming out of her vajayjay area, and it looked disturbingly used.
Are you trying to give me nightmares?
Gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. You're done sweating on her and you stand up and you look down, you're like, ugh. It kind of looked like that, even though she was alone.
Yeah.
But these ladies, the reason they were doing this was to have a simultaneous O from just pelvic thrusts and moaning. And they all amazingly had one.
Uh-huh.
You know, from no vaginal or breast contact at all. They're just like, oh my God, it's so good.
So they all say that so they never have to do that again?
No, it's because they didn't want to be the weird one who goes, it didn't work for me. Yeah, you'd be the weird one at that point.
Yeah, that's the weird. You know what? I would be happy to be the weird one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not getting involved in any of this weird shit.
Well, again, on the other side, you had the guys running around with their wieners out, yelling like morons, like, you rebel yell. Yay, I love being with dicks.
This is something that like lefties think is embracing your like masculinity or femininity, depending on which group you're in. It's like sitting in a drum circle talking about your feelings. That's not masculine. You're just being weird and mildly gay. Sometimes not mildly.
Satsu says, man, I always join these streams at the worst times. This is the best of times, my friend. It's the worst of times. It's the best of times.
Yeah, it's all about perspective, man.
I used to love real sex because it was so weird, because none of it was like normal. It was always like freak shit. The stuff today that you wouldn't even bat an eye at.
Yeah.
But back then, like women in a orgasm circle who desperately need to learn what a Venus razor is. It was fascinating to me that these people were so how do I say? What's the word? No. Unhappy in their sex lives. That they're like, yeah, HBO, come film me being a weirdo.
Naked. Yeah. And your life has made many detours into poor decisions at that point.
None of it was ever censored. One of the reasons I stopped watching it is because they started concentrating way too much on men, and I don't need to see wiener. I have one if I want to look.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know how you ladies get sexually excited looking at a wiener. I've said this many times. If you were walking down the street and a wiener just came crawling across the side, you would step on it and beat it with a stick. They're weird looking. And the fact that you ladies get turned on by that just shows how mentally unstable you are.
Yep. Well,
I'm glad you do, because it keeps the species going, but I don't need to see flaccid penises with weird bends in them all over the place.
Bouncing around in the woods.
If you look, me and Jack are pretty good friends, and you know, Satsu's in here too. So I'll use them. If Satsu or Jack ever came to me and say, hey, Frank, I heard about this retreat we should go to. And what we're going to do is go way back in the woods and get naked. That's the end of the conversation right there. That's the end. No, I'm good.
Right? Like,
no.
Okay. First of all, you said retreat. No, that's either a murder grounds. If you're an adult, it's either going to get you murdered, you're joining a cult, or you're going to end up naked. And I don't want to deal with any of that shit. No.
Look, if you said, hey, we're going to go back in the woods and we got some explosives we're not supposed to have, we're going to use them on a tree, I'll probably be there. But as soon as you're like, we're getting naked,
For this part, we have to take our pants off. No, we don't. No.
That's who says, an option. Helicopter Dick Island. Let's go. No. I won't even get naked on an island with Satsu in a video game. No. But these people were either so desperate for the attention or so sad in their sex lives that they're willing to let HBO film them. And to HBO's credit, they never were like, look at these fucking weirdos, which is how you should have filmed that.
Yeah, although that is a great setup for a slasher film. You're on some new age retreat.
Yes.
And you have to like find your pants while the serial killer's running around hacking people up.
Nightmare on Dick Island.
Well, I was thinking because it's a slasher film, you have to have naked chicks. But see where your head's at, yeah.
But see, naked chicks wouldn't scare. I never had a problem with the naked ladies. It was all the dick that started showing up.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but you don't need a slasher at that point. There's just a bunch of naked dong around.
Yeah.
That's scary enough.
Keep it away.
Because somebody's gonna want to hug you. These are all hippies.
That's the other thing they do. Those guys hug each other all the time. And the one that really bothered me would be like they would come up and hug each other from behind. And like, that is gay.
That is
the reason you can't
absolutely
get
gay.
off with your wife is because you're gay.
Yeah, just admit it. Come clean. You'll be happier for it.
Yeah. Anyway.
And if your husband's like, I want to go on a retreat, we're gonna run around in the woods naked. Your husband's gay. And that's his way of telling you that he's coming out. So you might as well start divorce proceedings while he's on his little homosexual retreat there, getting his rocks off with the boys.
Well,
so yeah, that's fucked up.
Have you seen Bering's video on that couple that the husband's totally not gay, but he has gay sex on OnlyFans?
So he's just honest on OnlyFans?
Apparently. Him and his wife, and say he's not gay. He's just taking it from his best friend today.
He's just bisexual.
You can't be bisexual without being gay. It's part of the package.
No, they're in stage 1, which is denial.
But no, he's not gay. Yes. Who's the Ron White? He was talking about watching a porn star, because in porn, if you want to make money, apparently, Jack, as a guy, you got to go into gay porn.
Yeah, that's what John Holmes did.
And he was watching some guy who was talking about how he just done a scene with 9 guys. And he's like, but I'm not gay. And Ron's like, you're gayer than I am.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're having sex with dudes. That's gay.
Willingly.
I don't
like if you're getting raped or something, that's different. But
fair. But I don't understand why
having sex with dudes, you're gay.
I don't understand why they all have to deny it. Right? Like, no, I'm not gay. I just do it for money.
That just makes
and
you
you're a gay hoe.
Prostitute. Yeah.
that doesn't change the gay part of that scenario.
Yeah, look, it may not be your overall preference, but you're still being gay. Just accept it. Nobody is mad at you anymore.
For anybody who's like, it's the middle of the day and they're talking about sex, just think of it as a soap opera. It's fine. I love that about soap operas. Like, you got to have everything sanitized for kids, except for 3 hours in the middle of the day when old ladies need to touch themselves.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't have adult content on here. This is just a story about somebody who banged their sister, who they didn't realize was their sister, and made 8 babies that all banged each other without knowing it too. Speaking of inbreeding, we got to cover this. I was so happy to watch this video, Jack. And I know that's weird because I just mentioned inbreeding. But apparently the clip comes from Sean, who, by the way, celebrating his 9-year anniversary today, Jack.
Actual Justice Warrior?
Yes.
Oh, congratulations to him too.
He started 4 days before I did, because my actual anniversary is on Monday.
Both amateurs.
9
years.
Now this is Knox or whatever his name is telling the story, and it's because I was too lazy to go find the original clip. But that's okay. I don't think he'll mind.
Was recently shared this clip, and I think it's very telling because, Cenk Younger's nephew, Hassan Piker, keeps talking about constantly about how Jews are inbred, right? 'Cause
Foreshadowing. Nux. Thank you, Nux.
it's a whole family of, radical Islamist, anti-Semite pieces of shit.
True.
So interesting revelation from a 11-year-old video on the Young Turks channel. Let's see what Cenk Yoger has to say about inbreeding.
So that's kind of fascinating too.
And by the way, you think you don't know anyone who, in America, you were joking around that 1 in 10, etc. My grandparents are first cousins.
Oh, Christ's sake, that's not surprising.
Yep, the Cenk Hassan clan are actually inbred.
I mean, first cousins probably means first cousins and brother and sister.
I laughed way too hard when I was watching this because I actually saw this on Pegasus's video, which made me go watch Nux's video, which led to us talking about it. So remember, guys, when you're talking to Hassan, remember to mention how inbred he is. Because it is one of his favorite insults against the Jews. They're all inbred. Just recognize your own, do you, Hassan?
Jesus.
He's inbred. That's funny.
That's hilarious. Thank you, Fuzzy Pussy Lover. I was known as the big, quote, gay boy, end quote, at school because I had sex with all of the lesbians. Pick the logic out of that. Oh, I got nothing, dude. That's dumb.
That's very weird.
But good job.
I feel like they weren't lesbians, though.
Well, I mean, conversion therapy.
Tailfin says all the desert people, to be honest. Well, I mean, English.
Yeah, it's a known thing with like courtship and like keeping your power. They would often marry cousins to retain power, and sometimes brother and sister. It's been done throughout human history in most cultures that had power structures where there weren't people getting voted in.
Moving along to this. Look, I want all the Epstein stuff to come out.
Yep.
But I am tired. I am tired of seeing the media and the left jumping on this like they actually care.
They don't.
Yesterday, I was like, I wonder what's going on in the news. So I went to CNN, and this was their headline. You got Epstein survivor's message to Trump. This is no hoax. He didn't call Epstein raping people a hoax. He's called it a Democratic hoax that they give a shit about the Epstein files, which it is. But then they have 3 other stories at the bottom about Epstein. People have been asking for the Epstein files since he got arrested.
Yep.
And then when he was totally suicidal in prison and
for sure, totally real,
and actually killed himself, which Kash Patel was saying again not long ago.
Yeah. Typical fact.
More people were like, hey, we need to see those. And the press didn't have fuck all to say about it. The closest the press has ever cared about this is to go, here's a 40-year-old picture of Trump with Epstein. See? And that's where they leave it. They never talk about Clinton or Bill Gates or any of the other shitbags who hung out with Epstein after he'd been convicted of child molestation. That's never part of their story.
The media just realized that this is something they could pin on Trump's legacy.
Yep. Same with the Democrats.
Only thing. Yeah.
When they had control of all of this shit, when Biden had the DOJ, they were sending people to Trump's house to find letters that him and Kim Jong-un shared instead of going after this shit.
Yeah, because they didn't care, and a lot of the Democrats are likely involved in this.
But now they care.
Of course they do, because it's about Orange Man bad and their derangement and they know they can hit Trump on this. This is going to be a stain on his legacy if this stuff isn't revealed. But it's probably because the CIA or one of the alphabet agencies was heavily involved in either blackmailing people or gathering intel or whatever, and some foreign agencies that are probably our allies.
I'm sorry, I'm not peeing, guys. I'm refilling my drink.
No, we know your bathroom's too far away to pull that off.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think the information exists.
I think a lot of it was probably destroyed to protect some powerful people on the island raid. When they went out there, they dumped a bunch of stuff in the ocean. That shit's at the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
I think we've seen the evidence that does exist. If there's more, it should be released. Absolutely.
Unredacted. Real fast. Thank you, Dragon Mage. That reminds me of the song, I'm my own grandpa. I saw a time travel movie that had that as a premise. He was a time writer. He was got a dirt bike, ended up going back in time, and he actually was his own grandfather. It was a really messed up story.
Well, we got to go to Back to the Future again. It's a good place to end the show today. I've been thinking about Back to the Future again, Jack.
What?
And
I'm shocked.
As creepy as Marty's mom is trying to hump her child and knowing what it's like to kiss her brother, I realized something about the family. She's actually the first in that line to break that cycle. If you watch Back to the Future's part 2 and 3, especially 3, you find out that Marty's great grandpa looks just like him, and his great grandma looks just like his mom. That shouldn't happen.
Maybe they're royals.
She married into the family. There shouldn't be a family resemblance between your mom and your great grandma on your dad's side. Those
Look,
that is just a whole incest movie franchise.
Yeah, look, that one girl had the song right. You'll never be royals because it doesn't run in your blood. Apparently,
Fair.
it ran in their blood, if you know what I'm saying.
Daily reminder that DeLoreans are garbage cars and their speedometer only goes up to 85. Fair enough. But DeLoreans looked cool.
Yeah, they did. They looked really cool.
With the gull wing doors. Oh, yeah. They looked
Yeah.
cool. They might have been trash, but they look cool.
And they were made out of aluminum, so they had a unique look to them.
I think you're thinking way too much into. Look, once you notice her say to her son, feels like kissing my brother, you can't help it. You start seeing all the clues that are dropped along the way. The reality is Marty's supposed to marry his mom. That's what really needs fixed in the timeline.
Well, he's supposed to hump her. You're in a three-way with your mom.
And it's weird to me that George isn't suspicious that Marty looks just like the guy she went to prom with. Shouldn't that have raised some red flags in George's head?
Well, I mean,
Like-
it was his third kid, so I mean, you start to wonder about the logistics then.
Like, why does Marty look just like Calvin?
And our son is friends with the same crazy doctor down the street, Doc Brown.
Right? And there's some issues, man. That's all I'm saying.
I have a theory that Marty's mom allowed Marty to hang out with Doc Brown in hopes that she would reconnect with Calvin.
And that's how Marty was born.
Yeah. See, it's all a giant temporal paradox.
I don't know, 17 years later, maybe a long time to remember the exact way a person's face looked. You would recognize, especially, I mean, he played a major role in his life. He's the one who gives him the courage to stop being a peeping Tom. That's never addressed. That's never addressed in the movie that his dad is a pervert.
Well, so's his mom, so.
Luckily, he falls in love with Lorraine, so he doesn't have to be a peeping Tom anymore. It gets a single mention. Marty goes, he's a peeping Tom, and they leave it at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the movie's so horrible. I love it. I love the movie. It's a great time, but don't put any thought into it. That rabbit hole goes deep. Monk should do a fanfic of Marty and his mom and get it published. No, that fanfic already exists. It's Back to the Future 3, where we see his great-great-grandparents, who coincidentally look just like him and his mom.
Coincidence? I think not.
And we know it's on his dad's side because it's Seamus McFly. So, you know, mom shouldn't look like great-great-grandma. That's all I'm saying.
Some people
Supposedly in early drafts, Marty was friends with Doc because Doc would bootleg porn and Marty would be his dealer. What? That sounds like some made-up internet shit. I'm just saying.
Though.
It is hilarious. You do have to wonder how they became friends, right? That's never addressed in the movies either.
I just assumed Marty was like mowing his lawn, and at some point was like, "What are you doing?" And it's like a science experiment. Here, hold this dangerous-looking thing, because he was experimenting on Marty with that helmet.
True.
Put this on, so he obviously is willing to use Marty as a guinea pig.
Probably is made-up internet shit. Probably. I do love made-up internet shit.
It can be pretty fun.
I really wonder how Marty ended up hanging out with Doc. Yeah, it makes no sense. But see, this is a common theme in 80s movies where like a younger kid hangs out with an old man, and not in a creepy way, not in a Democrats run Hollywood now kind of way, but as a mentor figure.
Yeah, he's just learning from the guy. It's like free babysitting services.
Yeah, but in most of those, it starts out with like you said, he's mowing the lawn, and a friendship forms over time as the kid notices something cool that the old man has, and he finally breaks down and tells him the story of his village being burned in Okinawa or whatever.
Yeah. Or the kid tries to steal his Gran Torino.
Yeah, there's always but that one doesn't have it. There's no setup for it. It's just this teenager's hanging out with this old weird guy who, by the way, is making bombs for the Iranians. I don't know.
Out of pinball machine parts. He just wanted the plutonium.
We should just go through and dissect 80s movies and how fucking retarded they are. And still good. Oh, which, by the way, dude, I sent you that Disparu thing about, the person who made Red Sonja.
Oh, yeah.
I had no plans on watching that movie, so I watched his review of it, and he actually goes through the whole movie. So don't watch it, Jack. It'll ruin it for you.
Yeah.
But he did say while it has some woke shit in it, it was a good time. So you might still enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I like bad movies anyway, so there's going to be woke shit in movies now, unfortunately. It's very tiresome, but I do love a good bad movie, and that chick is pretty hot.
Yeah, you and I just disagree on that. She's not ugly, but
Call me Matilda.
I feel about her the way I feel about Julia Roberts.
Oh, Julia Roberts is weird looking, though.
Well, that big old mouth of hers. She's got the Rachel Ziegler flip top head.
She's got the Joker mouth.
There are times where I see her, as long as she's got her mouth closed, where Julia Roberts can look attractive. And then the rest of the time is like, why is she famous?
I'll never understand that. Same with like Anne Hathaway, Rachel Ziegler, that Katherine Heigl chick.
Well, I do want to give Hollywood a little bit of credit when they cast Pretty Woman. They're like, let's get somebody ugly enough to actually be a prostitute. Because in most most of those movies, like Charlize Theron played a fucking prostitute. Come on. They always had the prostitute's pretty. She's just dirty. She just got a little smudge of dirt on her nose. Like, look, she's a dirty hoe. And in real life, they're, gorgeous. So I appreciated them using a rather unattractive woman in Pretty Woman because it makes more sense.
Yeah, like I don't think Julia Roberts is ugly. She's just very plain.
Yeah. You ever seen real whores? They are not what Hollywood puts out there.
No, they look like they're gonna shank you for a ounce of meth.
Dude, oh God, back to HBO and watching the sex shows on there. I've told you before about the ones with prostitutes. What was that? What was the name of that one? On The Point, I think is the name of it. Or Hookers at the Point or something like that. It was a show that followed hookers on HBO.
Oh.
There is not one of them that did not make my dick scared.
Right? Me and my buddy watched this documentary on foreign whores, and it covered Thailand, India, and I think Japan. I haven't seen it in a really long time. This is like 15 years ago. But they were comparing the different cultures and how sex is treated there. In India, all of the chicks were fat and hairy looking. And we figured out the exchange rate. It was $1.55 to bang one.
Bruh.
And I was like, dude, I wouldn't bang that chick with your dick. There's no fucking way I would let a penis anywhere near any of those Indian chicks. I've seen hot Indian women. There were none of them here. They weren't even average looking ones.
The one chick, there's 3 chicks that really stand out, but the one of them, she stands out because she was married, and while she would go blow guys in cars, her husband would play his Game Boy and wait for her.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah. She looked like a white Mindy Kaling with no teeth.
Ugh.
Yeah, she had no teeth. She had like 3 teeth on the bottom, and that was it.
Oh, you got a gum job. Ew.
That's what my favorite part of that whole show was this chick giving a guy shit for not finishing fast enough when she was going down on him. They didn't film it because they couldn't, but they had audio in the car. So you hear, and then she's like, come on, honey, I ain't got all day.
Wow.
Yeah, she was berating this guy because he couldn't finish.
That says more about the quality of the service than
Oh, God.
it does about him.
I can't imagine that helped him.
No.
Right?
Don't
Look,
shame the person you're having sex with. That's weird.
Lady, and for the record, this chick was ugly.
I'm sure that wasn't helping the situation at all.
She had scraggly, curly blonde hair and a really elongated face and was clearly on some kind of drug.
Ugh.
So just picture that. She looked like Dee Snider without the makeup.
So the scabies and lice were free?
Yeah.
Ew.
So you got this ugly chick going down on you, going, come on already. Ladies, if you ever want your man to finish, you don't go like, hurry up. Just say, don't come. And he's done.
Yeah, you got to say it's sexy, like, not like,
yeah, don't be like, don't come. Don't growl it at him. But you want it to be over, do that. Don't be like, would you hurry up already? Man, if I paid for sex and somebody's like, would you hurry up already? We would be in small claims court.
Demand a refund, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit. Not only was this poor bastard having to pay for it, he's getting shit from the hooker.
Not to totally divert things, but did you, speaking of ugly people in small claims court, Hamburger Lynn Reed got sued in small claims court by her aunt.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, her aunt filed the paperwork the other day. And it
what?
just blew up on the reaction channels.
What would she file in small claims?
Defamation.
In small claims?
Yeah, in Oklahoma, you could sue for up to $10,000. See, here in Ohio, we have a $3,000 limit. But small claims, you don't have to have a lawyer. And in most small claims courts, you're not even allowed to have a lawyer in there. So she's getting sued for defamation because Amberlynn on her channel said that her aunt was protecting a pedo.
Yeah.
And implied it was her husband. So Aunt Tammy went out and filed the fucking lawsuit as she said. So that was pretty impressive, and I hope she wins.
Blue Eye says you're tainting the cute kitties. No, we're not. They're
adorable.
We're our moral guardians.
Yeah,
people are not going to like what I'm about to say about Amberlynn Reed, but she's going to win that case.
I don't know, because what she did is really close to defamation.
You have to prove that she knew what she was saying was wrong.
Well, she's accused other people of something similar before.
And I'm not saying she's right or anything here. I'm saying legally you have to prove she didn't or that she knew it was wrong for defamation to be covered. Yeah, it's why defamation cases are so hard.
Yeah, but this is because she's Amberlynn's a public figure and the other woman's not. She's going on a defamation per se, because accusing someone of helping a pedophile is reputational damage. And she also admitted that she heard it from Tammy's daughter, who is known to be on the outs with Tammy. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think it's about time somebody did sue her for a lot of the stuff that she's pulled over the years. She's done some really, really legally questionable things.
And all this is going to do when she wins is reaffirm to her that she was right.
Which means she's going to do it again.
And all she needs is her cousin to go, yeah, I told her that.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. But I thought it was interesting and kind of funny.
It is funny.
Yeah. It's not very often you see a really big YouTuber like that actually someone trying to hold them accountable. Because how many times have we seen people get away with some really despicable behavior on this platform?
Yeah, and she's absolutely wrong for what she's done. I mean, you don't...
Yeah.
Going out there and accusing somebody of that without any actual proof other than somebody told me is... If you're being nice, it's irresponsible.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of the reaction channels are talking about going to the court that day to watch. And that should be hilarious because that's gonna cause a lot of stir. And one of the reactors actually lives in Oklahoma, so that should be pretty funny too. This is all public information. I'm not doxing anybody. This is all widely known. So, yeah, it should be pretty entertaining. And it reminded me to talk to you after the stream about something else I saw, but
cool,
unrelated to that.
I've started yawning. I've not been sleeping well the last few days. So I think we're going to wrap up here, guys. And I'm going to go watch the rest of Bobby Kennedy's testimony. And maybe we'll have some more blow-ups for later. It is amazing to me how upset the Democrats are right now over this. The performative bullshit that they're pulling. Now, one thing I will say is that they did not swear Bobby in. So he can lie before. Yeah, some procedural thing with administration employees. I don't know why.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They should be under oath when they're testifying.
Absolutely.
But Bobby, he's mostly on their side. They're mad at him about vaccines. And what's the other one that they're mad about him over? It started really with the vaccine thing, but especially him going to work for Trump. How dare you? How dare you? Kamala would have had Republicans working for her. How dare you work for a Republican as a Democrat? It's kind of a weird thing that they have going on in their brains. But the level of anger seems disproportionate.
It kind of does.
But it is right in line with what we see with Democrats, and we've seen for many, many years now. of the purity testing. And if you're not 100% on their side, they will destroy you. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Returning more to the morning schedule. I know everything got mixed up there with my days off and stuff. And there may be a couple of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Disruptions in the next couple of weeks. I have stuff scheduled for the next couple of weekends, Jack.
Oh, being all grown up. I see how you are.
Yeah, so the timing of the shows might be off here and there, but we will be doing them. I'm feeling so much better than I did the last couple of days. Dear God, 2 days ago, Jack, I was just like, kill me. Just kill me. Get it over with.
You don't get off that easily.
No. So I put on some comedy stuff to put me in a good mood, at least as I was praying for death.
Jesus, that's dark.
I didn't mean it. I just wanted the pain to stop.
Well, of course.
Yeah. And it finally did. And that's why anytime I am, really bad off, my wife, is there anything like, baby, it'll pass. It always passes. I'm going to have egg on my face one day because it's not going to pass.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, shit. That's embarrassing. No, but it was just miserable. So it's very hard for me to concentrate when that's going on. So shows suffer. I apologize for that, guys, but there's 9 years worth of content you can watch. And literally there's probably enough to watch 9 years something every day and never repeat. Except for the parts that I had to take out because YouTube's a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, well, they were really heavy-handed there for a while.
Yep. But yeah, feeling so much better. And thank you to everybody for the well wishes. Jack, anything you want to show?
I just dropped a bunch of links to some awesome stuff. As always, thank you guys so much for all the support you give us. Thank you so much for the donations, or tips as they're called, for tax reasons. You guys are awesome. And we appreciate you coming out night after night or day after day, depending on the schedule, to watch the show.
I feel like that cat in the lower right is my spirit animal when I first wake up.
I think they all resemble how I feel about 80% of the time. Like, I don't know if I'm tired or hungry or what. Why are you staring at me?
My favorite part about kittens, other than them just being so damn cute, is their little tiny ears. I love the little ears.
Yeah, they look like Ewoks.
They do. And on that note, guys, we are going to wrap up. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody take care of yourselves. We love you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
I need a fat girl to go buy vagina pants and send me a pic.